ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Okay, thank you for joining, devotees. We are getting just started. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So we'll start with Gopala Champu. Um, so in Gopala Champu, the place last time we stopped was um, where Krishna was returning from the forest. So his Janma Nakshatra day was celebrated in Vrindavan. After being celebrated there, he wanted to go to the forest along with all the cowherd boys. So after going to the forest, he was returning from there playing the flute song where all the Rajavasis, including the cowherd boys, the parents, and all the other elders, and the sages who are living there, as well as the devatas who are watching Krishna on the way. All of them were mesmerized by the flute sound of Krishna. And as well, um, the cows to whom Krishna was sending special messages through his playing of the flute, they were also getting mesmerized. So, in this way, Krishna was coming back to Vrindavan. So then, when he reached the town gate, there was a huge crowd of Rajavasis who were waiting to welcome back Krishna from the forest. And he wanted to go to his home. And at that time, Yashoda and all other ladies, they were standing outside the home, and they were with an arati plate in their hand. They performed aratrika for Krishna and Balaram, and they poured a lot of this popped rice, which we can eat these days, right? So they used to put all these things, auspicious items, to show. And when Krishna was trying to enter the home, they were also glancing toward the gopis who were standing there, and they were feeling separation from Krishna for quite some time. Of course, the gopis meet Krishna in the forest in the middle of the day and in the night time. But other than that, there is a separation during the daytime for the gopis from Krishna. So they wait at their home, glancing at the path when will Krishna will come. Then, after Krishna entered the home, he immediately went to the bathing place. He takes a bath, and his servants they help him take a bath, and then they also help him put on fresh clothes for the evening. When the evening came, they took their dinner with Nanda Maharaj. Krishna and Balaram, they used to sit together with Nanda Maharaj, and then they eat varieties of foods cooked by Mother Yashoda. Then, after eating nice food there, they went to the assembly outside, and they were sitting along with their friends. So, at that time, many respectable people also gathered. Along with that, the Madhukanta and Snigdhakanta came. So these are the two boys who were disciples of Narada Muni. And they have come to Vrindavan to meet Krishna, and especially to show their skills of bardship. They were bards. And the whole Gopala Champu is going to be recited by these two speakers, Madhukanta and Snigdhakanta. So Nanda Maharaj was inquiring this Madhukanta and Snigdhakanta, are they satisfied here, and did you take proper meals? and so on. So um, they were very satisfied with the reception that Nanda Maharaj has provided, and they were also very satisfied to see Krishna. Then Nanda Maharaj called these two. It's a noise. Nanda Maharaj called these two boys, and that is Balram and Krishna, and also made this Madhukanta and Snigdhakanta be together. And the bards, the other bards who were there in Vraja, they were all singing and glorifying Krishna. So all of these people were listening. So Madhukanta and Snigdhakanta, they were also sitting along with Nanda Maharaj and listening to the other bards singing about the pastimes of Krishna. So when they heard that, they wanted to display their own skills in front of Krishna and they want to glorify Krishna. We should not think that sometimes we may also, in the temple, if somebody is singing, I want to also sing. We may sometimes get that, or somebody is giving lecture, I want to sit there and give lecture. When we have anarthas in the heart, we are trying to do is I want to be the center of attraction. That's what we are trying. There was a Tamil movie in that the villain used to be there, and then this villain he used to say that if I go to a wedding hall, then I want to be the bridegroom, and if I go to a mortuary, I want to be the dead body. By which he is saying that he wants to be the center of attraction everywhere. And this is very typical of most of us. Of course, we may not so display it grossly as the villain in that movie was displaying, but we have this tendency to come in the center. This is an anartha. But when the Madhukanta and Snigdhakanta, they wanted to display their skills, they were not thinking like that because they have Prema for Krishna. When they have Prema for Krishna, their anarthas are all destroyed. As we will see into Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the anarthas get destroyed very early in the sadhana bhakti itself. We'll see which stage it gets destroyed. So therefore, those who have prema for the Lord, those who have achieved love for God, they don't have these anarthas within their heart. So when they say they want to display their skills, they want to satisfy Krishna. They want to please Krishna with their own service. That is what they are trying to do. So, anyways, they were having this interest and they are also holding on to that. And Nanda Maharaj was continuing the festivity that had started from the morning, several hours into the night. So they were having night out. And after some time, then they went for sleep. And next morning, also, Nanda Maharaj continued the entire festivity before bidding farewell to all of them. So it goes for almost like 2 days, the whole festival. So then Krishna took permission from Nanda Maharaj and he took the two boys and he went to see his mother. So the men are all sitting in one place and the women are all sitting inside. They have a separate women's home. So they are sitting inside the home of Krishna. So Krishna went to see Mother Yashoda with these two boys. Mother Yashoda is being described as liquid bliss personified because he has this Vatsalata, Vatsalya Bhava, the parental love for Krishna. She is the personification of parental love. And because that love is very high, the bliss that is arising out of bhakti, that is also quite high. So, as soon as these two boys saw Mother Yashoda, they started glorifying. They started saying that is Yashoda, the deep limit of the milk ocean. We know the milk ocean is where Vishnu lies down. That ocean is quite deep and quite vast for people to cross. Saltwater ocean is smaller compared to the milk ocean. Of course, we don't have access to the milk ocean right now, but the devatas have access to milk ocean. So they were glorifying that she looks like the deep limit of the milk ocean. And because Mother Yashoda was also giving milk to Krishna, so not now when Krishna was small, so she is also considered to be compared to the milk ocean. And the milk ocean gives birth to the moon. So here Krishna is the moon who is arising from the milk ocean of Mother Yashoda. And they glorified her, saying that out of her compassion for her son and for others, she has manifested her son in front of all of us. So when Krishna wants to descend to this world, he has to have his parents. Their parents become the gateway for Krishna to appear in this world. So um, Yashoda is quite merciful in that sense because without Yashoda, we cannot have Krishna. Krishna doesn't manifest in this world without Yashoda. So Yashoda is quite compassionate for all of us in this world because he manifests Krishna. Then Yashoda was also very compassionate to these two boys. She showed very deep affection. And this is the other point. Anybody that goes from this world to the spiritual world, Yashoda is very, very affectionate and loving toward them. We see in the case of Gopakumar as well, when he goes from this world doing sadhana and finally he attains Vrindavan, Vraja, she becomes very affectionate to that person. She takes care. And this is a natural quality of devotees who are Nitya Siddha associates of the Lord because they possess the qualities of the Lord. And the Lord is very affectionate to his devotees. So therefore, his associates also are very affectionate to the devotees. In the Bhagavatam, it is said that those who are Kanishtadikaris, the beginner devotees, they do not recognize the devotees. So they go to the temple and then say, me and my Lord, nobody else in between. But those who are Madhyamadikaris, who are raised from there, from Kanishtadikari, they start recognizing the devotees. And they show affectionate dealings with the devotees. They do affectionate dealings with the devotees. They show their affection to devotees. When a Vaishnava comes in front of us, it is said we should become joyful. So, of course, even myself also, I forget many times. But we should remember this that when we see a Vaishnava, we should become joyful in heart. And we should overlook the faults that others will have. So then Krishna asked his mother to bless these two boys. And after that, he took permission of his mother and then he went to his bedroom. So this is a night time. So Krishna is going to sleep. But he also took these two boys along with him, Krishna, to the bedroom. So in the bedroom, there will be some gopis who will try to put Krishna for sleep. And Radha was one among them. So when the parents are arranging, they don't think that Krishna and Radha are lovers. They see that these just girls, they are just serving here at this home like that. So Radha was also there in the bedroom of Krishna. And Krishna took these two boys along with him, and then he went to his bedroom. Radha and the other gopis were all there, her Sakis. So when they saw Radha, these two boys, they were stunned. They were thinking that, oh, she is Devata personified. She is lightning personified. Looks so dazzling. And she is Lakshmi herself with a garland of lotus. And she is the best of the women. And from her face, she shows compassion. And she is quite modest with all the qualities. And she is enriched with Mahabhav for Krishna. So as soon as they saw Radha, they developed Prema and they lost consciousness. Because Radha is the personification of Ladini Shakti. the bliss potency, which gives bliss to Krishna. Now, she is Prema personified. She is the love of God personified. And when we say that we are trying to achieve love of God, it is that portion of Radharani, which is the Hladini Shakti, and then the portion of Samvit Shakti. It descends upon us together. So therefore, Radharani herself is the personification of Prema. And looking upon her, they got the prema was flowing out and they lost their consciousness. Then Krishna was tending to them while they were lost consciousness, attending them. They were supposed to attend Krishna, but then now because they fell unconscious, Krishna was attending to them. Okay, so we'll stop here our Gopala Champu, and then we will continue from here next week. Okay. Now continuing our Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So where did we, what did we discuss last weeks? We covered the western section and northern section of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is divided into 4 sections. The western section and the northern sections are already covered. The western section covers primary rasas. The northern section covers secondary rasas. In summary, we have seen the whole thing. Then we also looked at, we started looking into the eastern section. That eastern section covers Mangala Charan verses and definition of Uttama Bhakti. We have covered until that part. And we started looking into the roadmap of Uttama Bhakti. This is the roadmap of Uttama Bhakti. We were looking into this. So, here, our bhakti starts. This is the bottommost place. Our bhakti starts here and it goes all the way up until we attain Bhagavan directly. It is not that in other religion that only after death we will see Krishna. In Christian religion, for example, you live a moral life at the end of your life when you die, and then you wait for the judgment day to happen. And then the Lord comes and judges. And then after that, you can see God, basically. And if you have lived a moral life, then you go to heaven. And if you lived immoral life, then you go to hell. Like that, it happens. But Bhakti Yoga, described by the Vedic literature, it's not like that. It is a pratyaksha process. Pratyaksha process means you can realize, you can see for yourself whether you're advancing or you're not advancing, and which stage you are in. And different stage has different symptoms. It's a very scientific process. When I say scientific, I'm not talking about the philosophy of science, material science. I'm not talking about that. When I say scientific process, it is a process where you experiment with it and then you see result for yourself, not just a theoretical process. So in this different stages, we see different manifestation of different symptoms, and we also start realizing Bhagavan all the way. As we go upper and upper, we realize more and more of Bhagavan. Okay, so now here, yes, somebody has a question. Satya Sankalpa Prabhu. Yes, Prabhuji. Dandavas
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna Prabhu, Dandavas Pranam. Sorry, is this a good time to ask question or I can wait till
Yes,
later?
yes, you can ask.
Prabhuji, I've always had this question about like Krishna consciousness being scientific, that you follow a process and you ultimately attain the highest goal. But isn't that up to Bhagwan's mercy? Like it's not like whatever we do that we can just follow something and ultimately get Krishna Prem. It has to be bestowed by Bhagwan, right?
Yeah, good question. So here, if you see this process from Shraddha, this particular thing happens by mercy of devotee. Without this, we don't get this. There is no particular process we follow to get this Shraddha. The devotee comes and gives Shraddha to us. He gives faith. That is by mercy of devotee. Then, when we come into contact with the devotee, we follow a particular process, which is chanting, hearing, deity worship, all these different processes. That's a particular process. This process itself is Shakti of the Lord. It is a combination of Hladini and Shamvit Shakti. So, as when we are performing this process, we are in touch with that Shakti. Because how much we take advantage of that, that much. Ye yatamam prapadyante tangs tateva bhajamiham. As you approach me, I come to you, Krishna says. So it is our endeavor to approach. So when we perform chanting, we are constantly in touch with the Samvit Shakti and Hladini Shakti of the Lord, which is revealing Lord to the extent we have advanced. So continuously when we do, this is our endeavor. This is our endeavor in being in touch with the Shakti of the Lord. And that Shakti elevates us in the process of bhakti. And then we go through all the stage until the stage of asakti. So until this age of asakti, it is our endeavor is involved in that very much. Bhagavan's mercy is throughout there, but our endeavor is predominant. Once we reach the stage of asakti, then we have to wait for the mercy of the Lord. There is no more endeavor. We will endeavor in the sense of we will be continuing to perform bhakti, but there's not like I have to do something to go to the next stage. No. Here we stop and then we wait for the mercy of the Lord. The Lord will give mercy, but it is up to his prerogative. He will definitely give mercy, but time varies for different people. From Asakti stage to Bhava, it is mercy of the Lord. We go. And then from Bhava, depending on our, how much we are attracted to the Lord and how much we are longing for the Lord, all these things it blossoms into Prema. So it is two things together. Our endeavor is there. Mercy of the Lord is there throughout, but predominantly sadhana bhakti is our endeavor. But once we attain the stage of asakti, we wait for the mercy of the Lord to give bhava.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good question. Okay. Thank you, Shankaranand Prabhu, for joining us.
Very cool. Yeah. Sorry, I joined a little late, but yeah.
You want to add anything, Prabhu?
Sorry?
You want to add anything, Prabhu?
No, thank you so much, Prabhu. I mean, I know it must be taking good amount of time for you to prepare so well. Thanks.
Yes,
Thanks for
Prabhu.
doing this wonderful service to devotees.
Thank you, Prabhu, for your inspiration.
Mhm.
So, this is Shraddha. So, we discussed last time the Shraddha and Anishtita Bhajana, unsteady bhakti. Unsteady bhakti. We perform unsteadiness. In our enthusiasm, there is unsteadiness. Sometimes we are enthusiastic to perform bhakti. Sometimes we are not enthusiastic to perform bhakti. That's unsteadiness is there. And how we are performing bhakti. Sometimes I chant 16 rounds, sometimes 2 rounds, sometimes 5 rounds. Sometimes I distribute books, sometimes I disappear. Sometimes I go to the temple and serve, sometimes I disappear. This unsteadiness. Throughout the day, one day I just fully focus on doing bhakti. The next day, only 2 hours. The rest of the time, I'm just doing something else. This all sorts of things are unsteadiness. That is unsteady. So if you have all these things, we are in unsteady process. And while performing bhakti, if you are feeling sleepy while performing bhakti, although we have taken enough rest, but as soon as we hear a lecture or pick up a bead bag, we feel sleepy, or we take the phone and then we just scroll it around. All these things are anarthas, that unsteadiness in our bhakti process. Okay. So, these anarthas that are happening in our heart are arising from four different things. One is sins, our past sins we have committed, past punya we have committed, and offenses, past or present, we have committed. And the fourth one is actually, no, three one, sorry. From the sins, the fourth one is bhakti. From the bhakti itself, some anarthas arise. We'll look into the fourth one. Third or three things we described in the last session. The fourth one, which is some anarthas that arise from bhakti process itself, is because I am performing nice kirtan, people will start respecting me. So then I start enjoying that respect. Or I am doing nice lecture, people can glorify you. I start relishing it. I start, I'm such a nice preacher, or I'm such a nice kirtanier. Uh, that is an anartha. So from the bhakti process itself, not doing anything else, I'm just doing bhakti, and then I can get results. Or you can rise up in the management layer. Or you are a preacher, then you are a preacher of multiple people, then you are a temple president, then you are a GBC, whatever it is. If I become just attached to raising up in the ladder, then that is also anartha. So that's because only by process of bhakti I'm getting all these things. Okay. So in this way, four types of anarthas can arise. Anarthas from my past sinful habits, anarthas from my past punya. I'm getting a lot of wealth in my wealth, good family, nice health, nice body, beauty. All these are uh, anarthas from the past pious activities. No? I get attached to that. That's anartha. I try to enjoy that. That is anartha. The beauty itself or the wealth itself is not anartha. But when I try to enjoy for myself, that becomes anartha. So from past pious activities also, I can develop anarthas. And aparadhas, I commit offenses. 10 types of offenses are there. When I commit these 10 types of offenses, and many more offenses are there, the 10 types are predominant, the nama aparadhas. When I commit those offenses, I get a lot of anarthas in my heart. The prominent of the which is offense to the devotees, thinking bad about them or doing bad things to them, physically or verbally. All these are anarthas. And all these are offenses, and those offenses create anarthas. And it becomes difficult to get rid of them. So once I have removed most of the anarthas, I come to the stage called Nishtha. So this stage of Nishtha is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Let's look at Bhagavatam. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. So this is Bhakti Naishtiki, Nishtha, study Bhakti. So how does study Bhakti arise? By regular Bhakti Seva, or Bhagavata Seva here it is given, one of the Bhakti process, by chanting any Bhakti process regularly. Nitya means every day, not every moment. Every day you perform Seva to the Lord. By that, slowly, when most of the anarthas are destroyed, nasta prayeshu abhadreshu. Abhadra is the anarthas. Huh? Praya means generally anarthas are destroyed. Then this Naishtiki Bhakti comes in the Lord. Nishtha, study Bhakti. We should aim for this Nishtha Bhakti. Many of us may be in this Anishtita stage. So the next goal, immediate goal should be this Nishtha stage. This is a desirable position. From this onwards is a desirable position. Below this, it's not so much desirable because the bhakti is not steady. So it can quite continue for a quite long time because we are not steadily practicing it. It is like climbing an uphill. You have to put effort and do things like that. Once you go to the Nishtha Bhakti, it's like walking straight. Quite easy to walk. Uphill is quite, it's like a steep hill is there. It's quite difficult to climb. Once you attain the stage of Nishtha, it's like walking straight. Above Nishtha, it's like walking downhill. You don't need to even do endeavor. It will automatically start pushing you like that. Even Nishtha stage is like that. It's quite a high stage. And this Nishtha stage is also described in the Nectar of Instruction. First verse. Vacho vegam manasah krodha vegam jiva vegam udaro pasta vegam etan vegan yo vishaheda dhiraha sarvam api mam prithivim sa shishyad. So these are the different types of vegas. Vacha vega, the urge to speak. Manasa, krodha vega, the mind wants to jump into different material things. It says, look into a movie, go and grab that snack and then put it in your mouth. Sleep and enjoy life, or watch unnecessary news, or look into politics, or talk unnecessary things. It's urging. There is a force from the mind. Otherwise, mind is not satisfied. I'm just looking around what to do, and then I try to watch a movie or whatever. Because mind is quite unsatisfied. That is the force of the mind. It's forcing us to take some decisions. Krodha vega, anger. We get quite angry when, especially, somebody speaks against us or somebody speaks in a way that we don't like, behaves in a way we don't like. We get angry. That is also force. Jiva vega, eating, the tongue, force of the tongue. It says put anything in the mouth. Middle of the night, wake up, go and check out the fridge. What is there? Something to munch, some namkeen or whatever, ice cream, whatever. Put in your mouth. Jiva vegam, it's forcing us. Udara upasta vegam. Udara vegam. Udara is our belly. Belly is little bit free. Immediately it asks, put something inside. Fill it up. Don't give empty space. The tummy is pulling. That is udara vegam. Upasta vegam is sexual desire. So, all these are different vegas that is forcing me. Of course, here not all the senses are covered. For example, the sense of eye, it wants to see beautiful things. And ears, it wants to hear very nice music and things like that. So this Vacha Vegam or Jiva Vegam, these are all representative of all the different senses. So all these senses as well as the mind, it is dragging us. And these anarthas, these are the anarthas, different Vegas. One who can tolerate, the sober person who can tolerate, it doesn't say he controls. It's a two different word. It doesn't say he controls. Vishaheta. Vishaheta comes from the root sah. Sah means tolerate. Sahata. Sahate. Tolerating. So Vishaheta, he tolerates. He is able to tolerate these forces. And that person can make disciples all over the world. And this is the Nishtha Bhakta. Where is it? Sorry. This is Nishtha Bhakta. At this stage, one has ability to tolerate all these Vegas. Whatever the mind says, he is able to tolerate that and simply continue to focus. Not one time, not one day in a week. Every moment, every day, he is able to tolerate that. And then he continues steadily bhajana, bhakti, without any disturbance. Even though these are all present in some minor quantity, may be present in his heart, but these are not disturbing him anymore in his bhajana. His enthusiasm for bhakti is steady. This person can make disciples all over the world. So he is like the real guru. Of course, you can have guru who is in Anishtha stage also, Shiksha Guru or Diksha Guru. But the preferred guru is the guru in the stage of Nishtha plus. Nishtha is where most of us may get access to. But beyond that, the people are like quite isolated. Anyways, so this Nishtha, quite steady stage. Most of the anarthas are gone. And this is also explained in Bhagavatam. This next verse, we'll look into it. Tadarajastamo bhava kamalobhadayascha ye chetayetayr anavidham stitang satve prasidati. Rajas and tamas, these two gunas, rajoguna, passion, and tamaguna, this ignorance, it creates several unwanted things. Kama, lust, lobha, greed, and other things, mada, matsarya, intoxication, and envious of others, all these different things. All these things were hurting the cheta or our heart in the stage of anishtita bhajana. Aviddam means viddam means basically your heart is like a pierced by an arrow of all these different anarthas. But when you are in the stage of Nishtha, these things are not piercing your heart anymore. They may be present small traces, but they are not disturbing you. They are not forcing you to take different actions. You don't take that. You just tolerate it. You are able to tolerate it. You are a sober person. At that point, taste will arise. That is the next stage. Ruci. Taste can arise. Taste means, of course, in the Anishtita Bhajana Kriya process itself, we will have taste for bhakti. Like some of us may like kirtan, some of us may like book distribution, some of us like um, uh, uh, reading or whatever, reading scriptures. We may have developed a taste for that particular activity, and we love to do it. But this stage of ruchi is where that is your predominant taste in your entire life. You are looking forward for that. And that is what satisfies you the most. That is the stage of ruchi. Okay, so before we go into ruchi, let me complete more on nishtha. So in the Nishtha, what are all the things that we can observe apart from all these anarthas? Most of the anarthas are disappearing from our heart. We can also see steadiness in the person in performing bhakti. There are three ways you can perform bhakti. One is using your body, you can perform bhakti. One is using your words, you can perform bhakti. One is using your mind, you can perform bhakti. Mind, you remember the Lord. Words, you chant the holy names or you chant Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, or give a class on that, whatever. And by physical body, you can serve the temple, serve the deities, clean the temple, whatever it is. Three ways you can serve. In all these different things, you have attained steadiness. In your mind, services in your mind, services in your words, services using your body. The person in Nishtha stage has attained steadiness in all these things. The, when you're going from Anishta to Nishtha stage, the steadiness can come first in mind, or first in body, or first in words. Different things can produce, different things can come first. It's not that one order it has to appear. It can first we can study our mind, then we can study our body, study our words, or first we can study our words, study our body, study our mind. So different things, steadiness can arise. But steadiness should be there in all these three things. Hare Krishna. How to interpret if one is steady in one or more aspects but not in others? Yeah. So generally the word nishtha means steady. We can be steady in various ways. For example, I can chant my round 16 every day. That is one type of steadiness. I'll wake up at 4:30 in the morning and attend Mangalarati. That is one kind of steadiness. I will daily read 40 pages or 20 pages or 10 pages of Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita. That is one kind of steadiness. These are all different kinds of steadiness. That can come in the part of Anishtita Bhajana also, as we advance. But when we achieve the stage of Nishtha, this particular stage, Nishtha, is characterized by steadiness in all the things. The Anishtita stage doesn't mean we are unsteady in all the things and we have all the anarthas. It also has a gradation. That's why there is a huge gap from bottom to top. We may be situated anywhere. As you grow up higher and higher, you will start attaining steadiness in different things. When you attain the stage of Nishtha, steadiness in everything will be there. Okay. So, no. Yeah. Sometimes we should not mistake that the devotee in the stage of Nishtha should explicitly display qualities like humility, giving respects to others, friendliness, mercy. All these qualities may not, sometimes in some devotees, may not manifest. Qualities like humility. What to speak of persons in the Anishtita stage? Nishtha stage only says that it may not explicitly manifest for some people. Generally, it should manifest, but some people it may not manifest. So we cannot say, you are not in Nishtha stage, these things are not manifesting. No, it is their steadiness in their service, their liking, their enthusiasm in their service, how much they are engaged in Krishna consciousness, Krishna bhakti. That is what that is what this Nishtha is determining. It is not these qualities, sometimes it may not manifest also. And some devotees who are in the Anishta stage, unsteady stage, they may manifest humility, giving respects to others, and being merciful to others, very sweet to talk to. All these qualities they may manifest. We should not think that, oh, he's a very elevated devotee. It may be part of his sattva guna also. So the qualities that comes in the process of bhakti, those are all given by bhakti itself. Bhakti is the Swarupa Shakti of the Lord, Sandhini Shakti and Kladini Shakti. They themselves give good qualities, and those good qualities are spiritual qualities, not material qualities. There is a material sattva guna which can also give you humility, giving respect to others, and tolerance, patience. That is not bhakti that any moral dharmic person can have. In the process of bhakti, we don't cultivate these material qualities. We practice bhakti properly, and bhakti itself gives us these qualities, which are spiritual qualities. When we say humility, that is part of bhakti giving to us. That's a spiritual humility, not material humility. So sometimes a new devotee may show all these material qualities. We should not mistake that to be spiritual qualities. It is their steadiness in bhajana, steadiness in bhakti practices. That is what determining his elevation, not these qualities that may be visible externally. Okay. So that is the stage of Nishtha. Anybody has any other questions before we go into next stage? Or comments? Okay. So we'll go into Ruci stage. So this Ruci stage, when a person develops for the taste activities of bhakti processes, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, all these things, vastly greater than attraction to anything else that they have in their life. This attraction to chanting, hearing is more than attraction to eating, attraction to sleeping, attraction to family, or attraction to money, or attraction to power, or whatever. That is the stage of Ruci. So because he has so much attraction for the bhakti processes than anything else, he will be most of the time engaged in that process. He cannot give up bhakti because he got a taste, great taste. Like an alcoholist addicted for alcohol, this person got addicted to bhakti process. And how did that arise? That arose from his study practice. At this stage, without being disturbed by all these anarthas, he is able to progress very quickly and then achieve ruci quickly, the taste. It produces great attachment to activities of bhakti. So once a person attains the stage of ruci, then he further progresses to the stage of asakti. Ruci means taste, asakti means attachment. So attachment to whom? Attachment to Krishna. In the stage of ruci, the person develops attachment to the bhakti process. Hearing, chanting, remembering, reading Bhagavatam, preaching, all these things he gets attracted so much in ruci stage. But in the stage of asakti, his attraction changes from the process of bhakti to the person behind bhakti. that is Krishna. Krishna becomes the object of relish. His soul focuses on Krishna, and it reaches quite an extreme depth, his attraction to Krishna. So at this stage, already his love of God starts to manifest small buds. And because it starts to manifest some small buds, at this stage, suddenly he will get a glimpse of the Lord. The Lord will, for a fraction of a second, appear in front of him and then disappear. Spurti, or fraction of a second, or even for some minute or whatever it is. He will appear for some time, he will display pastime, immediately will just quickly retrieve it. You will get this flashing appearances of the Lord. This is to make this person go further into the stage of Bhava. And as we discussed, uh, um, the stage of Asakti, he has to wait for the mercy of the Lord before getting this Bhava. In the stage of Asakti, his heart is quite cleaned, completely cleaned. Therefore, the flashy appearance of the Lord will happen in his heart. So, in the stage of Asakti, suppose he wants to do something material activity, for example, eating or sleeping, whatever it is. He has to drag his mind out of Krishna and then force it to do material things. Just like in the stage of Anishta Bhakti, we drag our mind and force it to focus on Krishna. This person in Asakti, he has to drag his mind from Krishna and force it to focus on something material so that he can continue his life. So, because he has extreme attraction for the Lord. But even though he tries to put the mind into material things, automatically it just goes back to Krishna, just like a magnet, the attracting an iron rod just goes back to Krishna. In the stage of Nishtha, most of the time his mind is focused on Krishna. But sometimes even the person who is in the stage of Nishtha, he will find that his mind wandered around and then it was pondering upon material things. Sometimes it happens. But most of the time he's attached to Krishna. So you can say that 50 percentage of the time the person is spending in Krishna, 50% of the time he is spending in material things in the stage of Nishtha. 50% means in a day we have 24 hours. You can say 12 hours he was absorbed in Krishna, like that. And it's not like, first 12 hours he is absorbed in Krishna, then he goes and does other things. No. If you take every 2 seconds, every 1 second he is absorbed in Krishna. That is what is 50%, like that. His mind is quite attracted to the Lord. And above than that, it grows further and further. Okay. So this is the last stage of sadhana bhakti. So sadhana bhakti starts from the stage of Shraddha. It goes all the way to Asakti stage. And this is the end of sadhana bhakti. There is no more practice after this. Everything is spontaneous after this. And it is going to raise above this by the mercy of the Lord. This is sadhana bhakti. You see this here? I have marked this here, the sadhana bhakti. The goal of sadhana bhakti is to attain this bhava. The goal of sadhana bhakti is not to attain prema. The goal of sadhana bhakti is to attain bhava. From bhava, automatically it goes. It's all perfection. The stage of bhava is all perfection. So the goal, when we are practicing sadhana bhakti every day, we should have this goal. That is sadhana bhakti. If we don't have that goal of attaining bhava, that is not sadhana bhakti. Why will I perform my chanting every day if I don't want to attain bhava? Maybe my parents told me, or my friends, for just out of peer pressure, I'm chanting, or out of the necessary to maintain my status in the devotee community, I'm chanting. That is not pure sadhana bhakti. That pure, it's not part of pure bhakti. The pure bhakti is part of that. You have a goal of attaining this bhava. And of course, you can have a preliminary goal. That's why I have marked certain things in bold. Shraddha is a significant milestone. The next significant milestone is Nishtha Bhajana. This is, we should definitely aim to achieve this. And then the next significant thing is, you can say, Bhava. Other things are also there, but these are significant milestones that changes one's perspective in bhakti. Okay. So then after that, we have Bhava. So in the stage of Bhava, the spiritual body is developed within. All his senses, material senses, are there externally, but he has also developed spiritual eyes, spiritual ears, spiritual this nose, smelling sense, touch sense. All these things he has developed, and because he has developed this spiritual body within, he can see Krishna. It started to develop in the stage of Asakti itself. He is able to suddenly see a flashing appearance of Krishna. We cannot see Krishna with our material eyes. We can only see Krishna with our spiritual eyes. The spiritual form of the Lord. We can only see with our spiritual eyes. So that requires a spiritual body. So that happens in the stage of Bhava. The Shandini Shakti of the Lord, it descends upon the sadhaka, and then it gives this spiritual form for the sadhaka. The spiritual form that the sadhaka takes is part of Sandhini Shakti of the Lord. So then he will be in the stage of Bhava because he has got the spiritual senses, the spiritual body. His identification will always be with that body. He will not care for his material body. His identification will not be with this material body. His identification will be with the spiritual body. Therefore, he might look like a crazy person for us. Most of the Bhava Bhaktas, they may look like crazy persons, they may not look like regular persons at all. There are exceptions to this. Jiva Goswami himself mentions in Bhakti Sandarbha. Like, for example, Narada Muni. Narada Muni, he looks like a normal person, he preaches like a normal person. But generally, these Bhava Bhaktas, they don't preach and they don't look like normal persons also. Because their identification is with some other world. And they will always look for Krishna everywhere, very intensely. Where can I see Krishna? Full of longing. As soon as they see Krishna, they will lick the blackness of Krishna with their eyes, and they will just absorb the rosy hue of Krishna's lips, Krishna's eyes, and moon-like teeth that's smiling in his face, beautiful face. The yellow garment he's wearing, ornaments, everything they will just lick through the tongue of their eyes. And they will begin to bathe the Lord's body with unlimited tears. And because this is in the stage of bhava, the Lord also doesn't appear in front of them all the time. He disappears. He disappears to increase their bhava further. But they are like a hunted animal. They'll be going here and there, time to time. They'll be looking forward every time. When will I hear the flute sound again? When will I hear the jingling of the anklets of Krishna? When will I hear the sweet voice of Krishna again? When will I hear the wandering steps, footsteps of Krishna again? When will the Lord touch me again? When will Krishna touch me again? As soon as he touches, immediately all the hair stands on the end. Spiritual body, the Lord will touch the spiritual body. And his nostrils will be wide open to smell the fragrance of Krishna. He will be hankering to taste the saliva of Krishna, and the taste of Krishna, and the remnants of Krishna. So, in this way, within his heart, the Lord will show himself multiple times, and then he will disappear also. He will show, he will make the devotee relish the sweetness of the Lord. So, in the stage of bhava, we will be able to completely see the Lord. In the stage of asakti, we will be able to see glimpse of the Lord. And in these stages, we will be able to relish the sweetness of bhakti process. Here we will get steady bhakti process. Okay. And then comes the stage of Prema. So this is the beginning of the love of God. When this love is nicely manifested, blossomed, that becomes the stage of Prema. So as soon as a devotee attains this stage of Prema, then he cannot bear any separation from the Lord. He has to be with the Lord. So the Lord understands this. He takes the devotee out of this material body, and then he puts him into Bhauma Leela. So when Krishna comes to this earth to perform pastimes, the devotee will take a role in that earthly pastimes, and then he will participate as a Saka or a Sakhi or a servant, or different rasas, whichever rasa the person has perfected, that rasa he will be able to participate in the Bhauma Leela first, the earthly Leela. So once he participates with the spiritual body completely, then his identification becomes fully complete. Then from there he is carried forward to the spiritual world. Sometimes, even in the stage of bhava, the Lord can take the devotee and then put it into the Bhauma Leela. So this happened with the sages of Dandakaranya. Many of the sages have attained the stage of Prema. Some of the sages within that group, it's a group of sages, they were only in Bhava stage. But then because they were practicing as a group, the whole group got promoted to the Bhauma Leela. Some of them had Prem Bhava only. They did not achieve Prema. All of them became gopis. So therefore, when Krishna played the flute to call the gopis for rasa dance, not everybody could go. Those who had prema, all of them were able to meet Krishna and then play rasa lila dance. But those who are only in the bhava stage, they were separated from Krishna by their relatives. It comes in the 29th chapter of the 10th canto. They were captured by the relatives. 1 or 2 days they couldn't go. But after that, because of this longing for Krishna, that increased further and further, that purified the final trace, that trace of some fault was remaining. And then once it is destroyed, they achieved prema, and then they were able to participate with the Lord. Now we will see that what is this trace of fault remaining in stage of bhava, and how the stages of how the faults are all removed in the process of bhakti in next session. We'll stop here. Any questions? Anybody has any comments? Any doubts, or suggestions, reflections? Ananga Sundari Mataji, Pranam. Yes, Mataji.
Hi, Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so much for allowing me to actually have this presentation. So thank you so much. You've put in so much hard work for this presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Prabhu, I had a question.
Yes.
I want to go back to Nishtha
Yes.
stage, because that is one stage, one milestone. You said a major milestone we can all relate to. The other one, Prema, is very far-fetched, but we should all know about it. But Nishtha, I just wanted to ask you, Prabhu, it's a huge chasm between from Anartha Nivriti to Nishtha. And do we need to know as practitioners? I think we need to know which stage we are. But how do we know, Prabhu? Because you said steadiness in mind, body, and words. But there can be thin line between upper stage of Anishtha Bhajan and Nishtha Bhajan. So how do we know? Will someone tell me, my gurus? How would we know that we are in Nishtha for sure?
Yeah, the easier answer is if you're living with your guru, if you ask your guru, then the guru can immediately point it out. Generally, if you don't live with the guru, then it is very difficult for guru also to make a guess.
Right, Prabhu. That's not the situation we are all in. Yes, Prabhu.
So contemplation is required. But again, this we have to see whether we have all these Vegas controlled.
I see. Okay,
This
Prabhu.
is a simple test. If all the Vegas are controlled, or we are able to tolerate and continue bhakti process, And 50%, as I said, in a day, you can say 50% means every 2 seconds, 1 second, I am engaged in
Mhm.
Lord service.
Yes, yes. That also
So
looks very far-fetched, but
then
yes, thank you.
that is quite visible, I think.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, yes.
Thank you,
Thank you
Madhu.
so much, Prabhu.
Thank you. Ananda Baldev Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Dhanush
Krishna
Pranam.
Prabhu. Dhanush Pranam Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. So, how so to reach to Nishtha bhajan? In between, we have so many Anishtha things going on, and you mentioned there are 4 reasons. Um, because of that, we are not able to reach to Nishtha. So, what one should do to remove and to move forward to Nishtha bhajan?
Yeah, so this process we will cover specifically in our next session because that is very practical for us and it is relevant. And how can we cross this big barrier and then attain this Nishtha Bhajana? I will cover in the next session, Prabhuji, detail.
Okay, sure, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you. So there is no other questions. Thank you, devotees, for joining. Thank you, Shankaran Prabhu, for
Okay. Thank you very much, Vaishnav.
Thank you.
Jai.
Thank you. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya
Vivanam pavanebhyo Vaishnaveyo namaha.
Vaishnava ki jai Shri.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.